check. I hear you talking opinions, but where your facts at? I think it's time that we pull up and do a fact check. Hung again, we calling you to the circle. I'm tired of hearing the bull. I'm questioning your discernment, yeah. Like how you question the people that's really earned it, the people that's really working. Type of stuff for the circus. I only move with a purpose.
Yo, welcome to the Buy Will Right podcast with another week of sports going on. What's up, man? How's everything going?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm blessed, man.
Great
Blessed.
Great week.
Y'all, great week in sports. Real quick, before we get into the actual show, let me ask you guys to do us a favor. Like, comment, subscribe to all of our social media outlets, our YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Instagram. We'd appreciate the support and viewership. Do us that favor. Follow us and like us.
Let's go.
All right, man. What you got going on, man? Anything going on new with you?
Nothing new right now. Just a lot of sports stuff going on. I mean, I feel like it was a good sports week. There's a lot of stuff across multiple sports. I mean, basketball, football, ESPN. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on, just in the sports world in general.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You know, we had the loss of the baseball season, but I'm not really an avid baseball watcher.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to actually go ahead and put that out there.
I think it's just a build-up for the World Series where everybody just kind of gets locked in for that, but...
Exactly.
It
so
was good basketball series. I mean, baseball series.
Yeah, it was a good baseball series. I mean, you know, we got a good championship. I did catch a couple of the actual games towards the end of the actual season. The Rangers, you know, pulled it out. I think it was the first World Series in franchise history.
Probably.
Yeah, but you know, in all honesty, I wasn't heavily paying attention to it, especially after the Astros got knocked out.
Yeah, that was it for me.
So that was it for me. But let's go ahead into something that we have been paying attention to closely: NFL football, man. Another man. There's so many storylines that happen throughout the actual week with NFL football.
Now, there's definitely a lot going on in the NFL, but I mean, maybe we should talk about these Bills.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go ahead and pull up the first actual comment, the first segment we're going to talk about here. Bills let go of their offensive coordinator. What you thought about that? Ken Dorsey let go. I have some thoughts on it, but you know, it seems like it was we got to throw somebody to the wolves.
Yeah, I feel as though they use him kind of as a scapegoat. I know the offense is more than just an OC, but there's other components that probably need to be looked at, some other things that we have to think about or put into play. But I guess he's kind of like a fall guy in a sense.
Yeah, I agree. To me, it felt like he was the fall guy. It felt like they had to throw someone to the Lions, and you know, it just felt like, you know, Ken Dorsey was the guy they decided to throw out there.
Do you think he's the full blame though? I mean, you got Josh Allen out there. He's not, like I said last week, he's not being Josh Allen, the Josh Allen that we know. But I mean, I guess he's the Josh Allen that we know now. But
you know, I mean, the Bills lost, you know, to the Broncos this week. The Broncos have been kind of coming on, actually, in the past couple games. You know, quieting a lot of people who were giving Russell Westbrook and you know, the coach over there,
Russell Wilson.
a lot of Russell Wilson, yes, Russell Wilson and the coach over there, a lot of heat. The Broncos are coming on, but the Bills did lose. Now, what I would say is this though, because I watched, you know, the end of that game and I saw some of the actual highlights from early in the game, but the game was really tight toward the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you see there was a huge pass defensive interference call made, which allowed the Broncos to get in a scoring position,
right?
And then the Broncos, you know, went out there for the actual field goal, missed it, but they had 12 men on the field. The defense the special teams had 12 men on the field. Neither one of those sounds like an offensive issue to me.
No, it sounds like a special teams issue.
Yeah, it sounds definitely like a special teams issue. So I was kind of confused as to why, you know, things seemed to be going the way that they were going, and they decided to just kind of throw, you know, the offensive coordinator under the bus. When you look at the offensive numbers, as far as how they match up in the actual league, they're in the top 10% on most of the offensive data.
They're not doing bad, but they're not doing great, and I think a lot of people expected the Bills to do a lot better than what they're doing right now. But again, I think a lot of the blame has to go to Josh Allen. I love Josh Allen, but a lot of the blame has to go to him with the numbers that he's producing right now. Yeah.
I mean, he, you know, the quarterback gets a lot of praise. So the quarterback also is going to take a lot of heat when things aren't going as well. And, you know, he's seeing the results of that right now. He's taking a lot of that actual heat. So, you know, it kind of is what it is. But Ken Dorsey, I'm a fan of Ken Dorsey. I really was a fan of Ken Dorsey when he was over at the U. Quarterback in Miami down there, that's right around the time I was in college. I don't know the actual years that he was down at the U, but I remember seeing him play. He was a steady hand with the Miami organization as a quarterback, and you know, it seems like he, you know, has advanced his career into coaching. And I think he's going to find another home. I think his numbers, if you look at the data and look at what he did on the offensive side, I don't think his it warranted a termination. But like I said, I think they were looking for a scapegoat and to throw somebody to the Wolves because the Wolves are howling at the door. But I think what was the coach name? McDermott?
Doug McDermott, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be the next person being looked at carefully because he's quickly losing control over that franchise.
Well, they got the Bills have a new interim guy coming in. What's his name? Let's see. Joe Brady's coming in. He was the OC for the Carolina Panthers back in, I want to say it's a 2021 season, but their record was only 5-12, so I don't know how much of a move this is if they're looking for wins or what they're looking to do, but hopefully he comes in and, makes an impact to the team. Hopefully he makes an impact to the offense. Give them some fire, give them some new plays, work with Josh Allen. I don't know, but hopefully that helps. But based on his numbers, I don't know how well he's going to do.
Like, you look at it, seems like the NFL, it seems like they just start, and not just the NFL, I would say college football as well can fall into this, and the NBA as well. Let me not just exclude or just make it football centric. Like they just start recycling coaches at some point. Like at some point you would think they would go and find a fresh mind to bring in some new ideas that may be able to come in and create a spark instead of regurgitating the same people
that you've seen
through
do
jobs.
over here. Exactly.
Especially this guy that you just mentioned. His production doesn't sound amazing.
Exactly.
But of course he's going to get a shot because it's his turn to get a shot at that particular location.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens with that, but hopefully the Bills figure that out. Hopefully Joe Brady comes in and does something well for the Bills, but we'll see. We'll see.
Real quick, before we go into the next segment, we want to take a moment to actually recognize our actual supporters and our sponsors. Let's recognize and support Sean P. McKee's Lawn and Pressure Washing Services, operating out of Birmingham, Alabama, and the surrounding areas. Please get in contact with Sean McKee and his team. They can take care of your lawn mowing, lawn renovation, pressure washing, rubbish removal, landscape design, seedling, and flower care. And you can reach him and his team at 470-599-0296. That's 470-599-0296. Sean P. McKee, LLC, Lawn and Pressure Washing Services. Get in contact with Sean and his crew. They'll be more than happy to take care of you. Oh, man, I made that rhyme. That was slick. I didn't even try to do that, man. That was crazy.
Talent.
All right, man, let's move to the next actual show here, or the next actual segment, rather. We're going to talk about, let's see here. Let's talk about the Browns, man.
The Browns.
Browns, big win over Baltimore. Did you catch any of that game?
I didn't catch any of the game, but I did look at the stats numbers, the stats. But the Browns, I mean, going up against the Ravens, we talked about the Ravens last weekend.
Yes, we were very high on the Ravens last weekend.
Very high on the Ravens. So seeing the Browns come in, being able to control the clock a little bit. They held the ball for about 30. I want to say it was about 34 minutes to the 25. They had less penalties. So I think the Browns just had an overall just a better game than the Ravens. But, I mean, going up against the Ravens, their defense, and then having to compete with their offense at the high production that they're working at. So I think it's a solid win for the Browns.
Yeah, I think it's a big win for the Browns. And one thing about the Browns is the Browns have gone through a lot of adversity this year. They lost their starting running back, Chubb. Chubb was a monster with the ball in his hand.
That was against the Steelers, I want to say.
I think you're right. I can't recall exactly who they were playing against when Chubb went down, but I know it was a gruesome injury, and I know it knocked him off for the rest of the year. But they persevered. Right now, the Browns, surprisingly, in my opinion, 6-3. Yeah. I mean, that's a solid record compared to some of the actual teams out there, especially considering you lost your starting running back that early in the actual season.
I want to say they have the same record as the 49ers and the Jaguars right now. And the 49ers, we know how well they're doing.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct there. As you mentioned, we were very high on the Ravens last year. Last week on this actual program. For anyone who actually paid attention to us last week, we talked about the Ravens being kind of slept on.
The underdogs. Not underdogs, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just kind of slept on. I mean,
underrated.
I think they were 7-2 as of then. Now they're 7-3, taking this loss to the actual Browns. But once again, that's a big win for the Browns.
You're right. Definitely.
Big win for the Browns as far as the game is concerned, but a big loss overall for the franchise as far as the injury that occurred on that actual game. After losing Chubbs, now reports are coming out that Watson is out for the rest of the year with a fracture in his throwing shoulder. Did you hear about that one?
I did not hear about that one. But was he out previously before he came back? Was this his second game back, I want to say, since he was last injured and when they had the backup in? But, I mean, the backup did well for what he's doing, so I guess he's just going to have to step in. Hopefully Deshaun Watson can either come back or doesn't have to miss the rest of the season. But I mean, based on that report, it sounds like he's going to be out for the season. So
I mean, they're saying that that he's out for the rest of the season. Now, they said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is pushing to make it back, by the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not hear that. Okay.
He's trying to.
If he does that at what is he, about 40 something?
Yeah, it seems like it's a stretch, but Aaron Rodgers is being optimistic.
He's an athlete, though. So.
I haven't heard exactly what Watson thinks or whether Watson thinks he can come back early, but right now reports are that he's going for the rest of the season. That means the Browns have lost Chubbs, their starting running back. They've lost their starting quarterback, who the Browns have committed a big chunk of money to. Mm-hmm. Do you think that money is kind of a wash right now, or do you think it's still a good investment for Watson? Did the Browns make a good investment at this point as far as what you've seen so far, Watson being able to contribute to that franchise?
As of right now, no, but we know the upside of Watson. So we haven't seen a full season of Watson. So we can't really say that there's a bad investment or a good investment. I mean, he got injured. So, I mean, we'll see what happens further on down the line. But, I mean, if he comes in next year and he doesn't produce, then, yeah, it's probably a bad investment. But if he comes in next year, produces, gets him to the playoffs or gets him somewhere or gets him closer to that, to the ultimate goal of going to the Super Bowl, then I won't say it's a complete wash. But, I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, the Browns are – it sounds like they're struggling right now. If they lost their quarterback, lost their running back, what is it, about 2-3 weeks prior to? So
yeah,
it's just real rough for the Browns. Do they call in? Do they lean on their backup that they were leaning on before? Or do they call somebody else in? Do they give Kaepernick a call or RG3 a call? So I mean, it's just one of those things where it's just the Browns just going to have to either chuck up the season and just kind of play for draft picks or what? I don't know. I mean, with a 6-3 record, though, I don't know if they'll even get draft picks now.
Yeah, the thing about it, like you said, we're talking about all these negative things going on with the actual Browns, and they are negative things. We're not going to downplay that particular part of it, but they have a 6-3 record. I mean, they're definitely in the hunt for the actual playoffs. Maybe even in the hunt to potentially get a wild card. Not a wild card, a bye. Right. But once again,
I don't know what the rest of their schedule is looking like. Depending on the rest of their schedule, I mean, they could maybe, squeeze by, get a couple wins in just to kind of, get – I mean, they're over 500 right now, but to get maybe like a 9-something, 10-something record potentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's only, 4 more wins depending on what the rest of their season looks like. But, I mean, it's potentially possible. They just – I always say it goes back down to coaching and dealing with the personnel that you have, just figuring out a game scheme that works for your personnel the best and just running that to the ground pretty much. I mean, they still have a defense.
Yeah.
Or what or lack thereof. I don't know. I haven't really been watching the Browns too heavily to know how well their defense is doing. But I mean, you still have, I guess all your starters for your defense. So I mean, just lean on your defense a little bit more. I mean, what else can you do?
You know what? And that's what they've been doing. That 6-3 record is in large part due to the strength that they have on the defensive side of the ball. And they can lean on that. If they get a backup, or if they decide to get someone in free agency, or to pick someone who may be available out there, it's still going to ultimately, at this particular point, losing your starting running back and your starting quarterback is going to really fall on the defense to continue to play out of this world, which they've been doing so far. They're just going to need to continue to do it. Yeah. I mean, and that's a lot to ask for them, but, I mean, bottom line is it is what it is. They're going to have to get it done.
Shout out to the Browns.
Shout out to the Browns, man. I mean,
best of luck to you.
Yeah, I'm not a big time Browns fan.
Not a Browns fan as well.
But
I like some of the players on the Browns team, but as a whole franchise, as a team, definitely not.
Yeah, these guys have been playing well, and we're going to continue to see exactly what they can actually do for the remainder of the actual season. So, time will tell exactly how they actually continue to actually move forward.
Speedy recovery to both those gentlemen, though.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to go ahead and bring our guy on the phone here and get his take on this Brown story real quick. Hey, I got Alabama Slim here on the actual line. Slim, introduce yourself to the people. Where you at, man? Let me unmute your mic. Slim, you there? Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on? How's everything going?
What's going on with you guys, man? How y'all making it?
Good. How are yourself?
Man, blessed. What do you think about the Browns, man? You caught that Browns-Ravens game? What do you think about the fact that Watson's off for the rest of the year?
I caught the Browns, man. The Browns are like the NFL's worst-kept secret, huh? They don't want to talk about them. Don't want to give them their props. They 6-3. Deshaun Watson, America's most hated, he's hurt, but
yeah.
He got him at 6-3.
Exactly.
The defense is Super Bowl caliber, but I think that the talk should be Deshaun Watson and the commanding of the Browns, man. Nobody would have thought this was possible.
No.
2 years off, everything that he's been through, all the injuries. They 6-3, man. We're talking about the Browns right now. Just beat the Ravens.
Yeah,
you know,
that's major.
the Browns could step into the playoffs and make some noise, man. I mean, they're on pace to definitely make the actual playoffs. I mean, and once you make the playoffs, anything can happen.
Right.
But right now, we're watching out, you know, and that's news this week. With him out for the remainder of the season, I need to see exactly what this new quarterback is going to do. I'm not saying he has to go out there and be Watson, but he has to be careful with the ball. He has to be able to protect the
Who's
ball.
the guy? P.J. Walker.
Uh-huh.
I think this guy, didn't he come from the XFL?
Did he?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
want to say he played in the XFL, man. He played very well in the XFL. You know, I want to say he played for the Birmingham Stallions. You know,
okay.
the Birmingham Stallions won the XFL championship the last 2 years in a row.
Man, Slim, you coming with some numbers right now, bro. I'm out to say I did not have that on my actual radar. So they won the
Yeah.
Birmingham Stallions. Okay.
Birmingham Stallions don't won the XFL championship. You know, its inaugural season was 2 years ago. We won it that year.
Okay.
And we just came back and repeated this year. And a couple guys was in the supplemental draft for the NFL, got drafted to the a couple of guys out of the XFL was in the NFL supplemental draft.
Okay.
Got picked up late rounds. That's how P.J. Walker ended up there.
All right, shit. Well, let's see what happens, man. I mean, the Browns, I'm pushing for them. The Browns are overcoming a lot of adversity, and when a team has to go through adversity like that, you kind of can't help but like exactly like
can't
them,
help but
especially
root
when
for
they
'em,
actually
man.
do them. So I am not, like I said, I'm not really a big Browns fan, but I do like to see a team overcome. And it looks like
too.
they've been doing it so far, so we'll see exactly what happens.
So who was running the quarterback when Deshaun Watson was hurt a few weeks ago? Was that PJ?
Yes.
Okay,
that
gotcha.
was him. He came in and did his thing with the
Okay,
win.
so okay, gotcha. Yeah,
So
he
he's
did.
already-
He did do well.
He already
Exactly.
has some starts under his belt this season.
I want to say two.
and now he has the rest of the season exactly to see exactly what he can do. And shit, I'm all for it. Let's see exactly
well,
what he
if
can
that's
do.
the case, then he's been learning the offense. He knows he knows the scheme. He knows the actual offense.
You know
He can-
what?
you
They're
know,
not going
it
to
could
start
work.
PJ this week. They're going with the other guy.
Who?
Dorian Thompson, DTR,
Okay.
DTR.
Okay.
But he's the guy that they drafted ahead of PJ, and he's been there longer than PJ, and he's a little more familiar with the offense. So I think he's gonna get the nod ahead of PJ this week.
Man, I let them duel it out in practice.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well,
I mean,
that's what's going to happen. I mean, it may not be announced that that's going to happen,
That's
but
what happened to Dorian Thompson. You know, they told him he was gonna start like 90 minutes before the game.
all right, we'll see what happens, man. I'm looking forward to seeing exactly the Browns are able to continue to persevere, and time will tell. But I'm optimistic, and I'll be pulling for them. Let's move to our next actual story here. We're going to talk about ESPN and their new sports betting app, ESPN Bet. Now, you know a little bit more about this. I know you're into wagers and parlays and whatnot.
so
What you
yeah,
got for us?
So yeah, I was in my group chat the other day, and they was talking about this new betting app, and they sent a picture. So I guess ESPN has a new betting app out. I guess it's a little bit like FanDuel, or so it's a sports book. So pretty much, I guess ESPN is I guess they're running their own in-house betting sports book in a sense.
Okay.
So I mean, they're keeping everything in-house. What does that mean for ESPN? It means a lot more money for ESPN. It means that that stock price is going to go up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of money coming to ESPN right now with this sports bet. I mean, it's only open in 17 markets. I know Texas isn't one of them, but I mean, open in 17 states, and I want to say they're major betting states anyway. So I think this is definitely a good look for ESPN, because as you know, when it comes to betting, everybody goes to ESPN to make sure the stats are correct or check stats. So I mean, if you have the in-house person, you have ESPN who's actually I won't say producing the stats, but actually the home team of stats in a sense, the curator of stats in a sense. I guess it's perfect for ESPN. I actually like it. I wish it was here in Texas so I could check it out, see how it works. But I mean, it is what it is. But shout out to ESPN for this. I think it's a good look, and all those contracts that they have with those analysts and everybody else who's over there, they may catch a field day. I mean, a payday, or it may just go to the CEOs.
The thing about it is ESPN, they're able to actually jump into different fields like this and gamble. I mean, speaking of gambling, they can gamble. Go ahead.
Right. So what happened with so ESPN? They're partnering up with I want to say it's Penn Entertainment. So Penn Entertainment, actually, they had the actual software, the actual betting software.
Nice.
So I want to say ESPN got with Penn. They're actually using their software, and that's how they're producing this ESPN Bet app. So I think it's dope.
Hey Slim, are you a gambler, man? You put any money on these games every week?
Man, I try to keep my luck to myself, but I throw my name in the hat often.
Okay, okay. I'm not a real big gambler, I have to say. I know you are, and I always ask you exactly how everything's going in the industry. I can tell you this. you know, ESPN, you know, their pockets are deep. I mean, ESPN, parent company, Disney, you know, Disney, they can always, you know, say, hey, let's try this, let's try that. Let's see exactly
this.
if people do it. I mean, when your money is long enough, you can actually jump into anyone's field and attempt to bully them. And they're jumping in a field that actually coincides with some of their other actual enterprises, like ESPN and sports. It's a direct correlation. It's perfect. It seems like you. Sometimes you ask yourself, like, what took so long?
They had a spinoff program. Y'all remember the spinoff program they had with the guy who's leading the ESPN bet?
No.
The guy, I forget his name, David, but him and the other guy would have a spinoff. They would be in Vegas, and it would be called I forget. It was a whole title of a show.
Okay.
But now they don't basically edited that out, and they came out with the ESPN bets. And the guy who was on that show, he's the host. He was there today. But it's not offered here in Alabama either. Of course, I went and downloaded the app as soon as it went live, and found out that hey, Alabama is not a gambling state; it's not supported.
Oh,
Same.
okay.
But for anybody that watches sports all the time and can get that direct knowledge, I mean that ESPN Sport and betting app, it's gonna be a win for them.
Yeah, ESPN is already viewed as, for the most part, the leader in sports entertainment and sports news.
Ain't that their logo? Ain't that their mission statement?
Yeah, I think you might be right. You know, and it, you know, it's such a successful mission statement. I just quoted it, not even knowing that it was their mission statement. So ESPN, I mean, they're so integrated with sports, all sports, that you know them moving into sports betting, and it seems like to me, and I could be wrong here because I'm not a huge sports gambler myself, a sports bettor myself, but I do see, you know, all the advertisements for it. A lot of my friends, coworkers, they all talk about, you know, various parlays and ways that they can actually go in and how easy it is to make wagers. So it's just bringing more people into that actual arena. It just seems like betting is becoming more and more popular, if you can actually imagine it.
It's being pushed by the agenda.
Yeah.
Every commercial has got to do with betting or some kind of social media, but it's an agenda being pushed with this betting, man.
Yeah, we'll see exactly.
Where you can see in states that they're allowing betting, normal states that wouldn't allow betting back in the day.
Yeah.
They're even opening up to betting. It's a lot of money. Americans don't have a lot of money, but we're spending our money on what we want to spend it on, obviously.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We'll see exactly how it goes, man, but we're definitely going to be paying attention to ESPN. When the ESPN makes a move into any industry, you have to stand up and pay attention because they can very quickly dominate it. All right, let's move to the next actual story here. And Slim, I think you brought this one to my attention. Gruden and the NFL heating up with their actual lawsuit. Everyone, are you aware of the lawsuit Gruden filed against the NFL?
Was that the email thing?
Yes. For those who may be watching, and Slim, I'm gonna let you kind of jump in and lead this, but I want to give a little back information for anyone who may be watching and may not be unaware of what's going on there. Of course, we know Gruden got himself, you know, left out the league, for lack of a better word, because of leaked emails. Gruden leaked emails that were racist, sexist, homophobic, and no one, including Gruden, denies that these are his emails. That's not what the lawsuit about.
Oh, definitely not.
No, he did it.
Yeah.
The question, and you know what? The more and more I looked into it, the more and more I was kind of like, wow, you know.
That's a wild
I'll tell you this: the NFL has so much control, because you would think something that as explosive and as interesting as this would have more run on sports media and sports platforms. I guarantee that people aren't talking about this in a heavy sense because the NFL is trying to kind of sweep this under the rug. Because once again, you really can't say Gruden without the NFL being kind of linked to his name, because he was such a prominent figure. He is a Super Bowl championship coach, even though I think that's Tony Dungy's Super Bowl that he just happened to actually scoop up at the last minute. But Slim, before I go too far, why don't you go ahead and tell me a little bit about what research you have on this actual legal matter between Gruden and the NFL?
Basically, Ron, great job covering it. Pretty much you hit all the points. It's over those leaked emails that cost him his job.
Yeah.
You know, if you know anything about John Gruden, a.k.a. Chucky. Little Chucky, you know what I mean? He's gonna bite down and he ain't gonna let go. So basically, you know, he don't file suit against the NFL and took him to court. It don't pass the district court. Now it's in the Nevada Supreme Court.
Okay.
And, you know, they interviewed John Gruden and asked him how far is he willing to take it. He said he'll burn the NFL down to get the truth.
I read that,
man. Back to what you said. He's not denying the comments, the emails, everything that was brought to light. He's challenging the methodology on how it came to light. Back to what you said, the NFL is a $1 billion business.
Yeah,
so they have a lot of power. And it's amazing to me, like you said, that this ain't made news. But with John Gruden mentality, he's going to force it into the news because I think he has a case.
Definitely has a
case. And I think the law is supporting him having a case. And I think the NFL is going to have to bite this one, man. They're going to have to bite down on this one.
Let me tell you something. I'm sorry, go ahead. You want to say something?
No, go ahead.
He may have a case, but I hope he don't get a damn dime.
Hey, listen.
Let me tell you, like, did you read any of the actual clips from the emails that they actually sent? I'm gonna read a couple of them for you because the more and more I researched and getting ready for the actual show, I was like, God damn, like this boy right here was going in. So look, DeMaurice Smith, the NFL Players Association, he's a leadership and actual union. Quote, this is not me saying this. This is Gruden saying this.
What'd he say?
Boy, DeMaurice Smith got lips the size of a Michelin tire. Like, what kind of, I hope Gruden don't get a dime, dog. All right.
Cold-blooded, man.
Like Roger Goodell.
He's saying that in the emails, man.
No.
Listen to what be going on behind the scenes.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Roger Goodell. Here's a quote. Now, remember,
Well,
people, if you're watching
now.
this is Gruden's quote. This is not Ronald. This is not me. I'm not saying this. Gruden said this. Gruden said he's an F word. Talking about Goodell. He described Goodell as an F word. I don't want to say the word. I'm not going to say it because I don't use that kind of language, so I'm not going to say it. And he's a clueless, anti-football pussy. I do use that word, so I'm going to go ahead and say that word. Like, God, this is what Gruden's type. Like, Imagine the
professional email thread.
Yes, like this is just a couple clips. Like the more and more I went to it, like I was reading other clips, and I'm
It
like,
get real serious and dirty down there. How people be talking.
You know what?
Review some of them text messages.
the more and more I looked into it, I was trying to get some more quotes. And like I was reading some of the stuff, I'm like, oh man, I can't even figure out how I would even include that in an actual show without possibly getting us like flagged or something. I'm not even gonna talk about it. But the thing that's crazy about Gruden and the fact that he, had this kind of mindset is that he was always that guy who was like, yes, like trying to like watch film with the new, the new up and coming quarterbacks coming out of college and whatnot. And a lot of these quarterbacks was black.
Oh yeah.
A lot of these quarterbacks were probably people that Gruden had strong opinions about. To go along and get around, he just kept those opinions quiet. But the minute that quarterback or that person left the room, who knows what he was saying about these people? So for that particular matter,
You know what he was saying.
normally I root for the little guy. Normally I root for the little guy. I have an inclination in my heart to routinely feel like major corporations are trying to one up the little guy. But in this particular scenario, I hope Gruden don't get a dime. I hope the NFL buries him, and I'm glad that he's not in football anymore. And that's just my opinion. I know there may be some Gruden fans watching, but I don't care. Say that one more time.
He got him in a Draymond Green in a headlock.
Yeah, it's bad.
You got anything to add about that?
I mean, if Gruden can prove that negligence that the NFL had with those emails, then I mean, either they're gonna have to settle, and if they settle, then I mean, they're looking up into the double digits figures, as in millions.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to settle.
The NFL wants this to go away. They've already tried to
settle?
No, not settle. They tried to get it. They tried to get it. Thrown out.
Gruden had a $100 million contract. He wants his money.
Yeah, I mean,
he's looking for a settlement.
He
wants a settlement.
He definitely violated the code of conduct policy. I don't even know the specifics of the code of conduct policy, but I can guarantee you that's a violation.
Yeah,
not only you're violating the code of conduct, you violated the code of conduct by one of the few people who can galvanize the ownership to actually give you a golden parachute. Goodell, like you can't have that kind of documented like opinions about the person who really you're gonna need in your on your side just if the other stuff came out. Yes. But the person who actually is that person who can galvanize ownership to try to give you that golden parachute, because they were gonna have to get rid of you regardless. You had to go. Right? Once that became public, and once again, here's another thing about all this stuff. It's the same thing I said about the Clippers owner a while back when he had the opinions about Magic Johnson. You think the owners don't know who Gruden was? His offense is not saying what he said.
It's that it got out.
His offense is getting caught saying what he said. Like, you can say whatever you want to say. You can have whatever opinions you want to have, but don't mess with their money.
I think he needs to go talk to Kevin Durant and learn how to get a burner account if he wants to talk like that.
Yeah,
Because
he
I
didn't-
mean, there's no way any of this should have gotten out.
Come on, man. The owners know exactly who Gruden was. A lot of people knew who Gruden was, but once again, his injury or his issue is that he got. You
Kind
can't
of
let
like
people
winning,
know.
man. Winning covers up a lot of this stuff. Like, as long as they was winning, you wouldn't hear this. Once they start losing and things start going bad, all that stuff come to light.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, Slim, you brought up our next actual subject here in the Gruden story. But let's go ahead and talk about it, man, because I know you balled. You play basketball. Let's talk about Draymond Green choking out Rudy Gobert and the thoughts around that particular incident. Now, Kyle, why don't you get us kicked off here? Did you catch this game? Did you see the lead up to this whole issue?
I can't even call it a game because no one even scored a basket yet before these boys started wrestling. So I don't know how it came to be, but it looked like there was some shoving and pushing between who was it, Clay, and then another gentleman from the
Timberwolves.
Timberwolves, and then I guess Rudy Gobert ran over to try and break it up, and then here comes Draymond, with his wrestling moves, WWE moves, hit him with the headlock, and he held on to him for about a good 2 minutes. I mean, it looked like he had a squeeze on him. Pause,
He had a
but
solid grip.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Slim, what you think about that, man?
man. I think this was premeditated. If you got any kind of context about what's going on with the Timberwolves and the Warriors, you saw that it was some stuff going on between him, Draymond, and Ant-Man a couple games before.
Yeah.
So me honestly, I didn't think he was gonna jump off like this, but Draymond, come on, man. Rudy Gobert, how you let Draymond grab you like that for one? You 7 foot.
yeah, ain't nobody
Yeah.
should be able to get around
Draymond,
7 foot.
that's
Well-
Draymond being Draymond, though.
The thing about it is, if you watch the actual clip, Draymond Green ran and he had to jump. He had to jump up to get that grip, on Rudy Gobert. So he jumped up and got it. That's not really my biggest issue. I do have an issue with Draymond because Draymond is being Draymond, but Draymond has always considered himself a bully. He's a bully in the league this day and age. He wouldn't be a bully out there if Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason was out there. That's just my personal
Definitely
opinion.
not.
He wouldn't be a bully if the Bad Boys was out there. He just wouldn't.
Bill Wallace would not stand for
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
But see, Rudy Gobert has they see him as soft in the league.
Yeah, because that's because he's foreign.
So
Yeah.
Draymond had, your problem was with Anthony Edwards.
He ain't wanna
So
stand
in the
with that.
midst of all this confusion, you go right toward who?
Yeah, Rudy
You
Gobert.
see what I'm saying? You see how the bully don't take his animosity against the person he got it. He gonna find the softest. I ain't gonna say the softest person, but
I mean,
you
Rudy
know,
pretty
he-
soft.
You know what, Rudy? He's just not.
Rudy's Rudy.
Yeah, he's just not. He didn't grow up in that particular culture as
Right.
far as basketball is concerned. Like stateside, when you play basketball
There's
on
a
a
certain
park,
aggression.
which a lot of basketball, a lot of kids who grow up in the basketball program right now are more AAU driven. Like they grow up in like. Kids don't grow up in a park like they used to grow up in a park in the 70s and the 80s and even the early 90s. Now kids grow up with trainers, with AAU leagues and things of that nature. But when you grew up in an actual park, because I think Draymond Green grew up in the park. He grew up playing basketball in the park. We grew up playing basketball in the park. And
Well,
like
no refs out there.
it's a more physical game, and people can intimidate their way into being considered a quality player or not.
Right.
I think that was a cheap choke, for the lack of a better word, by Draymond. Rudy Gobert was not trying to start any static there. He was trying to break up the actual altercation. And Draymond, being Draymond, just escalated it with a reverse choke hold on Rudy Gobert. Now, Slim, you play college ball. I know you play college ball for a number of reasons. We've already talked about them. But let me tell you one of my biggest issues with this whole situation. If I see my teammate getting choked out by somebody, and I'm not a tough guy. I never claimed to be a tough guy. I grew up around tough guys like my cousins and people who I played basketball with. I would consider them tough guys. That was never my thing. But even though I'm not a tough guy, if you are choking out my teammate, I have to respond in kind.
Face turning red.
My biggest issue right now is with Anthony Edwards, and it's with Thomas.
Town.
Towns. Yes, Towns. They're standing there
Totally
right
agree with you
there.
100%. Totally agree with you 100%.
Come on, man. They're standing there right
All
there.
you gotta do is watch the film. Draymond comes in, grabs our player. Boom. Towns, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You standing there watching. And let me say this
I don't promote violence or anything like that. I'm not with anything like that. But man, this is team against team, player against player.
Yeah.
You're one of our biggest players out here.
Let me tell you
You're
something.
our biggest player out here.
Let me
You
tell
got to defend us, man. You're Goliath for us. You got to go first.
Let me tell you another thing. I know it happened quick, but you have to realize this is the beginning of the season. We're not in the playoffs. You know, you're not at the chance of costing your team a dramatic loss in a series, you know, a best of 7 series or anything like that. Right now, there's not going to be a better time when you can actually defend your teammate and show your teammate we're going into the trenches together when we actually play ball. You cannot.
Man, that would be so much that would have galvanized that team with Towns so much more if he had done that.
I got a different way to look at this.
You just wait. Say that again.
I got a different way to look at this.
Come on, let me hear it. I want to hear something here because I can only look at it. I can only look at it one way. Show me another way. Show me something that I'm missing here.
Do you think the NBA called Draymond to make this move to bring hype around the in-season tournament?
Oh man, but you got to think about it like this, Kyle. Every player receives $500,000. That means it don't matter if I got a guy on my team that's making $40 million. There's a guy on the team that's not making it. So every one of us gonna get $500K. Oh yeah, everybody's gonna play hard, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're playing hard, and that's fine. I'm not. I have no problem with them playing hard. My issue is
when this turns into WWE.
Yes, Towns and Edwards, both of y'all right there. Both of y'all see y'all teammate getting choked out.
I'm with you 100%.
Listen, if I'm Gobert, we got a problem in practice the next day, bro. Like we got a problem in practice.
If he make it to practice, man,
come on, man. Like y'all just gonna sit there and let this dude choke me out, man.
He gonna be on
y'all just gonna sit there and let him choke me out. Nobody's gonna grab him off me or nothing.
Because it wasn't like it was a quick choke. Like I wish I had the video queued
Draymond
up. This thing went on for a while.
Was talking to him. Did you check the video? Draymond was even gruffing him and talking to him like, "Yeah, I got you. I got you."
That's wild. I mean,
you can see Draymond talking to him. Yeah. Draymond went to his social media account and went ham.
Man, he ain't even try to pinch him. He ain't even try to poke him or nothing. But
none of that. He was right in the club. His man was getting gruffed out. Draymond seen his man getting gruffed out. He came and did what everybody in the room would do.
Yeah, it was wild, man. I just wish.
And then guess what? The NBA only gave him 5 games. Can't beat it. Draymond, even for the Warriors, that just galvanized their team.
Oh yeah, they turned up.
So did anyone else get multiple games by chance, or was it just Draymond?
Draymond only got the rest of them got financial fine, $25,000.
Okay, so he the only one that actually lost games.
Yeah,
he lost 5 of them.
And it also came from his history. You know what I mean? A lot of this came back from history.
Let me ask you a question.
You know, being known for being like this.
Do you think that Poole right hand was taken into account as part of his history?
Of course. I think Draymond. You know, Draymond is an avid businessman.
Yeah.
All this is playing right into his social media and his following and pushing his brand.
Yeah, well, we'll see, man.
He's definitely going to be on that podcast talking about this.
He got some time. He going to have some downtime from the actual team, so he got time to do it.
As a high school coach right now, all your players as a college coach right now, high school coach, all us saw this go on. What do you say to your team the next day?
If I'm
here and choke the guy out and do all this, and hey, you just gonna miss 3 games. That's all we're gonna give you.
Hey, listen, if I'm a high school coach or if I'm a college coach, like teams have to be bonded by something. Teams are bonded by suffering. Like, for the lack of a better word, like when teams go into like summer camp. Like, I remember when we played college ball, we didn't even touch a basketball for like weeks. Like it was like crazy. Like
you gotta give them a common enemy.
Yeah, like you're bonded through
almost like boot camp.
Yeah,
military.
Same thing with military. Exactly, you're bonded through that type of thing.
There's a camaraderie amongst us.
Exactly.
Go ahead. You can have 2 people that hate each other, but if you give them something that they hate even more than each other, then that's how you build camaraderie.
Yeah. So if I'm a coach, college, high school, or even a basketball coach, college, high school, or even a professional coach, the thing I'm saying is you don't let that happen to a team member. I don't care. I don't care. Now, if we're in the playoffs, or something like that, okay, you have to take that into account. But this early in the actual season, no, there's no reason you allow a teammate to go through something like that. And I don't get. Yeah, if you're on the court now, you don't want anyone coming off the bench because I think the actual fines and the actual suspensions become excessive. But if you're on the floor it's a 5-on-5 event at that particular point. Like, you have to defend your actual teammate. You can't let someone, put your teammate in the chokehold for how long and how extensive it was, and you're right there watching it, and you do nothing about it. You just can't do it. That's just my opinion. If I'm a coach,
I'm gonna say, oh, buddy was threatening my life at that point.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna
That
have
was
a reason
wild.
swing to do something. Boy.
That was wild. That was just wild, man. All right, man. If no one has anything else on this particular topic, we're gonna move forward with our next actual segment. Jimbo Fisher and the Texas A&M Aggies. You guys paid attention. They let him go this particular week.
76 million.
Yeah, someone speak on it. What do you think?
I think
He was a lick.
Go ahead, Slim.
Jimbo hit a lick, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
listen.
$76 million
2
buyout.
years in on a 6-year deal, man, and walk away with basically $80 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I want to say they're
He was
supposed to
a
pay.
lick.
Aren't they supposed to pay? I want to say it's 7.2 or 7.3 million for the next 10 years. Well, up to 2031, they have to
Jesus.
pay him.
Jesus.
He had a
But they have to
10-year
pay-
deal
They have to pay.
for $95 million.
Right,
Yeah.
He was 2 years in.
right. And I want to say they have to pay him in the next few. I want to say in the next few weeks or something like that. They have to pay him. I want to say it's 19 million up front, something of
Wow.
that nature.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Man, that's a
yeah,
lick, man.
yeah.
So real quick, let me give y'all some numbers here real quick. You're right. $76 million is the buyout for Jimbo Fisher. That's a record as far as a buyout. The Power 5 programs right now owe head coaches so far this season $146 million in buyouts.
Insane.
And Jimbo Fisher constitutes over half of that total number. I mean, you kind of like, and once again, that doesn't prevent him from going and get another job somewhere else if he still has a passion for coaching.
Yeah.
Like if
That's
he, has,
the lick part of it, man. I just hit a lick.
Yeah.
if he still has a passion for coaching, he could still go somewhere else and get paid. So is it a win or a loss for Jimbo?
I think it's a win for Jimbo, but it's definitely a loss for the for Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge loss. I mean, you have to pay off this money, and then you have to worry about trying to find another head coach. On top of that, you have to find a head coach that's going to come in, help this system win, and then have a head coach that is actually going to want players to actually come through the portal to come play for your team. Like, I mean, it looks real bad for A&M. If I was an A&M student, A&M football fan, A&M alumni, I'll be, peeing and throwing up right now because I mean it's looking horrible over there.
The thing about it is, Slim, and see if you agree with me on this particular point. That just tells you how much money there is in college
They're
football, bro.
rolling in it.
Oh, my
That tells you how much
goodness,
money.
it's a
If you
billion-dollar
could,
corporation.
because think about it is, they have to take these numbers into account before you make the decision to let him go.
And they said okay.
And they said 76 million, sure, get rid of it.
No problem.
Get rid of, no problem. That tells you how much money is floating around in these actual programs, how much money these kids are bringing to the actual table, and how long the NCAA has been just killing it.
I need to know how. I need
Reaping.
to know how much that system is doing outreach, how much community service they're doing, how much giveaways they're doing. I need to know something because to seemingly throw away $7.2 million a year, $76 million a year, that's absolutely
Bananas.
that's wild, and I
that's
think that's
crazy.
highly irresponsible. I don't care how much money you have, that's highly irresponsible. There's kids on that campus right now who are probably dying to get a scholarship, dying to try and make ends meet, to try and get to school, trying to make things happen, and you're giving away $7.2 million. That's ridiculous. Even though you had to pay it out anyway to the coach, but still, to even throw that away and not get anything for it, that's absolutely ridiculous.
That's crazy, man.
Well said.
Shout out to Jimbo for hitting a lick, though.
Oh, Jimbo hit a lick, man. So
Yeah, he hit a lick.
I definitely think it's a win for Jimbo, and I don't even think at this particular stage in his life, Jimbo is concerned about the fact that it looks bad as far as him being the head coach. It looks bad that he had such a poor outing at Texas A&M because he knows someone else. He still has a very recognizable name. And the thing about this, Jimbo left Florida State. A lot of people thought Florida State was going to go under. If I'm not mistaken, Florida State 10-0, right? No, not 10-0.
Man, they number 4 in the nation right now.
Do you know what their record is by chance, Slim?
10-0.
10-0. I thought it was
First time
10-0.
since like 20. Oh man, don't quote me on that.
All right. Well, I know they're doing very well. So Jimbo Fisher leaving didn't hurt him. Jimbo Fisher then went, got a bag, and he skated out like a thief out of A&M, out of College Station.
He
And now
did.
he's going to the next program because, like we talked about earlier, these coaches just get recycled. Now it may not be a SEC program, but there's going to be a program that wants the name and cachet that goes along with
Of
Jimbo
course.
Fisher, and
Les
someone's
Miles.
going to cut the check to get him.
Les Miles from LSU. Remember where he at? He went to Kansas, got them prominent now. They had a big buyout, the same scenario.
Yeah. So
Jimbo must have been running around with a shicey mask rolled up under that under that baseball cap because he got
the bag,
won.
man. He got the bag. I mean, it's rare to see someone win with being fired. But with that contract, the way it was structured, and the buyout of $76 million, I mean, he really don't have to do nothing if he don't want to. But I'm sure he still has a passion for coaching, and he'll go ahead and exercise that passion somewhere else.
I know his wife and kids somewhere cheesing right now.
Yeah, they won, man.
Hey, we're going to Dubai for 2 months. We'll catch you guys at the end of the football season. We'll worry about this later.
Hey, I got an interesting graphic about to pop up on the screen for you, Slim. I want to get your take on it. What do you think about this right here? What's the possibility that Prime Time is looking at Texas A&M?
Ooh.
Now, hey, first of all, a lot of people this has already been out there, and Prime has already had to say, I'm not interested. But Prime has said he wasn't interested before, and you see how that actually played out. But let me give you some numbers on Prime and what's going on with Colorado, because people aren't really talking about Colorado like they were the first 3-4 weeks in the actual season. Right now, Colorado is 1-6 in the Pac-12. They've lost 4 games in a row. Their next opponent is Washington State. Thankfully for them, Washington State is 1-6 as well. Washington State is actually the only team ranked under Colorado in the Pac-12, even though they carry the same record, being 4-6 overall. But Prime and the Buffaloes have Washington State left back on the actual schedule, and then they have to play number 16 Utah next week. But
Utah going to whoop them, but go ahead.
Yeah, Utah going to put them hands on them. But they may be able to get the W Washington State, and that'd be good. If he gets 5 wins, I still think that's a win. I think people's expectation for Colorado early in the season was bananas anyway.
I think it was expectations for him. Like, people believed in Prime, so we believed in Colorado.
Yeah, I agree. And first of all,
he came out and showed improved the first couple games, man.
Yeah, look, 5 wins.
That to me, that Travis Hunter injury.
Yeah,
it hurt him.
The
whole ship.
It definitely hurt him, because once again, especially in college football, whenever you lose a game, the momentum, the air kind of deflates, because in order for you to have a shot at the national championship, you really have to go undefeated, for the most part.
Right.
So losing the game, losing the game really, really can deflate the actual team, and then once they're deflated and they hit a couple stumbling blocks, it's hard to get them reignited to get back for the Chick-fil-A, not the Chick-fil-A Bowl, that's a pretty big bowl, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Bowl. I mean, it's hard to get them back, when exactly that's the best they could do. And like right now, I don't see them making a bowl of any kind at this particular pace.
How many wins you got to get to be bowl eligible? 5, 6?
I thought it was 6. I could be wrong here. Don't quote me on that, but I thought it was 6.
Struggling to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, though. I'm just curious to see exactly if you think with those numbers, Prime would be someone still sought after for a program like Texas A&M. What do you think?
I don't think he's ready for like what this is showing me. With and I'm gonna say this. I hope he get the opportunity. I hope he take the opportunity. Let me say that. But if he do take this opportunity, he got to. Watching Colorado, he got to have his scheme. He got to have his stuff together. He got to come on with it now.
So let me ask you: you think, in your opinion, if they offer him the job, you think he should take it, or you think he should stay put?
He should definitely take it.
I say take it. What?
Yeah.
Take it.
What do you think?
I would definitely say take it. First of all, it's looking at the opposites for Texas A&M. Okay, you just got rid of your old head coach, right? You have to pay the $7.2 million. You can have Prime come in, pay him at a minimum, just because, you can pay him at a minimum, but also you have a scapegoat just in case he does lose. But also you have there's no downside to that for Texas A&M if you go and hire Prime. I don't see the downside. You have a scapegoat if he loses, and you have an upside if he wins.
Yeah, you know what? I could see Prime doing it. I could see Texas A&M wanting Prime to do it if Texas A&M paid attention to the excitement that Prime brings to any program. He brought that to the Pac-12 in Colorado. Imagine what he brings to the SEC.
Especially,
but that's what I'm saying.
In a team
now,
like Texas,
now you gonna bring this same thing over here with these top elite players.
Now,
you can't come over here and don't bring no scheme. And now you got all these players that you keep saying you wish you had at Colorado.
You got them.
You got them at Texas.
You got them.
A&M. Now you got to prove it.
Yeah. Like you said,
what I'm seeing at Colorado, bro. Like, you got to come on with something better than this.
I think with the players that Texas A&M has, and we've seen what Prime can produce. I mean, as far as Colorado, I mean, they have good talent, but it's not the best talent, right? Mm-hmm. So, like we always said, if Shedeur had a better offensive line, that team will look a lot better. If there's a couple more pieces on defense, this team will look a lot better. A&M has those pieces. So if Prime gets over there and gets some fire under their ass, that team would be doing numbers.
I'm saying A&M is not Colorado, and what I'm saying is A&M, and it's not in the Pac-12. That's a dissolving conference with people already looking for the back door as far as getting out the conference. A&M is in the SEC, and they came in the SEC with the big splash with Johnny Manziel and the energy. Once again, it's Texas football. So, like, they're in the SEC. They got the linemen on the offensive and defensive side of the actual line. And with the transfer portal, there's nothing stopping him from going. And the people that he brought over there are committed to Colorado. They just say, no, we're going to go here.
Yeah, I don't see how do you turn that down, man? The only way you turn that down is for loyalty. You're going to sold these guys over here that you're going to be here in Colorado. Colorado, the alum don't see you don't made them $150, $200 million this year. They ain't going to want you to leave. Like, the only reason you don't leave is off of loyalty, right?
Man, we seen what he did at JSU, so loyalty, we'll throw that out the window right now. Let's go get this money. Let's go bring the optics over here. Let's go try and get some upside.
But all of you guys agree, though, if he would consider, and once again, right now, to be clear, Coach Prime has denied that he's interested at all in going over to A&M. So that's his official word right now. But if he was to consider it, if he just considered it, my question is, he's at the top tier of college football at that particular point. If he takes the job at A&M in the SEC in the state of Texas with the recruits he would have access to, just being in the state of Texas, not only counting that it's him, it's prime time. Mm-hmm. So the energy and the energy excitement he brought to Colorado, taking that to A&M, like College Station would be crazy. Like I don't know, man. Like he's denied that he wants to do it. It would be a win for Colorado. I think it could be seen as an L for Prime's overall image because now it seems like I'm not saying he's chasing a check. I don't think he really needs it, but he doesn't really show consistent loyalty to one program. If he went to A&M, I would feel highly. I would feel very strongly that when the NFL called, he would probably be bouncing that direction as well.
Which he should.
Which he probably should. I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying, like, at some particular point, your actions dictate what you are, and his actions have shown him to be someone who will hop around, especially if he took the A&M job.
You know me, I'm big on history. How many black head coaches have been at Texas A&M?
Another guy just said in the comments, man, he can't he won't leave because his kids can't transfer anymore.
All right. What's
I ain't think about that.
There we go. Well, he ain't going nowhere then. Right. At least for a couple years. At least for a couple years, he's gonna stay put. And A&M definitely is going to be off the table in a couple of years, but that's good. That's good that he'll be standing tight.
Leave his son for?
No,
my goodness!
Absolutely not. He's not leaving. He's not leaving Shedeur. He's not leaving Shedeur, and he's not leaving Travis. Now, when Travis and Shedeur go on to the next level, hey, that's a completely different story. But right now, he's definitely not going to leave Shedeur and Travis. All right, man. Let's go ahead and move to the next actual storyline here. Anybody caught the Thin Towers here? They played each other for the first time in a head-to-head matchup, Holmgren and Wemby. Did you catch any of it?
I did not catch any of it. I did not. But, I'm sure it was a solid matchup. I actually did not see any stats on it, but I'm sure Wemby probably did his thing. How that game ended up going for
What?
Slim, what you got?
Yeah, I was watching the game. That's how I missed that Draymond incident. But, I took some player props on the game. Shout out to ESPN Bet, even though it's not working in Alabama. But them guys let me down.
Oh, really?
I was totally let down by the effort in both of them. I don't think neither one of them scored 10 points.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Come on, man. You're 7 foot. Let's get this understood. Both of them are playing above the rim 7-footers. Mm-hmm. But they're playing like small guards.
I didn't watch the whole game. I did catch some of the highlights. Still, some of the actual things that they're able to do at that size is pretty incredible. It's not really correlating.
I want to win. I want to see points.
Yeah.
That ooh and ah and stuff, all that sound good, but is it equating to a win?
Yeah, I agree with you. They are still rookies. I think these are probably the two leading candidates for Rookie of the Year. I'm hearing arguments, and no one's really talking about this because Holmgren was injured last year, so he's still eligible for Rookie of the Year. Yeah. And right now, people are saying that Holmgren is the actual in the lead for Rookie of the Year. I know we're early in the season, and the season could play out a lot of different ways. But right now, they say Holmgren does have the edge on Wemby, even though Wemby is the more talked about rookie out of the two.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
statement.
we'll kind of see how it all plays out. But my question is this: is this the new direction of the new body type that the
archetype?
the NBA is going toward? Because remember, we had a time where traditional big men, were more size, girth, and weight was the big men of choice, and they played within the actual paint. Then we went to more small ball, where you didn't really have a lot of 7-footers running around, not even a lot of 6'11" footers running around, unless they were shooting a three like KD was. Now you got these guys 7'4", and once again, they're really not playing consistently on the block or in the post. They're even playing in on the perimeter, dribbling, shooting threes, shooting fadeaways. Is this new archetype, the new body type that we expect to see in the NBA in the future?
Blame stuff.
Blame stuff. Yeah, everybody wants to shoot the three now, but you can't teach 7'4".
But the thing about it is how basketball is going now. It's a high scoring game now. It's not these scores of, okay, this game is going up to 80 points. We're going up to 90 points. These games are shooting into like 140, 130. These games are going up high. And if you have a center and he's only giving you 10 points a night, what does that compare to a team that's giving you 130? It's not going to work. So you have to have these new archetypes, these new big men who can get outside of the post, give you a 3-pointer, give you a couple 3-pointers. That's the way basketball is. Unless you get a big man who's dominant in there, who you're constantly going to feed the ball to. But if I'm scoring 7 threes, and then I got this big man who's only scoring 10 twos. The numbers don't add up. You know.
So you said something about offense. So does defense no longer win championships? In the NBA,
totally
how you guarding a
I
7-footer
totally
who's jumping
disagree
15
with
feet in the air?
that statement. But hey,
what you got, Slim? Give me your thoughts.
I guess I'm more of old-fashioned, old school, but I understand where the game is definitely headed toward these taller players doing guard-like things. Let's get that out there to answer the question. The game is definitely trending toward that and heading toward that.
Okay.
But, it has to be some kind of teaching. That's why I'm glad Wembanyama, pardon me, I got his name wrong.
Wembanyama.
I'm going to say Wemby. That's why I'm glad he's under Greg Pop because, if you watch the game, he was shooting his jumper, but when he had them shorter guys on him, he was in the post, posting up, sealing easy money.
Good.
It was easy money. That's one thing I can say. Now, that came from coaching. Now, if you can find a big guy that can understand the leverage and the advantage that comes with his height, but it seemed like when I'm watching the game, there's no instruction, no coaching coming behind these guys. They're just out here shooting threes, man, and they're not even being guarded. You see what I'm saying? Like, you might have me out there guarding you now. Yeah. When you can just go get an easy 2. Back to what you're saying, Kyle. Yeah, it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I go down there and I just score all night those 2s? You got to hit every 3.
Yeah. You know what? I'm interested to see exactly how it going. I'm not going to say I'm a big fan of the direction of the NBA right now as far as everything being on the perimeter. But if you have players who kind of play situational ball, if you have someone smaller than me, I'm going to post. If you have someone, matching my height, but I have superior athleticism and ability to ball handles, even at 6'4", I'm going to go around him, which I saw him do some things pretty impressive. I saw the guy dunk from outside the restricted line, and I'm not saying he dunked and glid in. He dunked and was still outside the restricted line when he landed. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's a different
some of the stuff he does is pretty like, wow.
Yeah.
He's 7'4", he's dunking without even jumping.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I think a lot of us were hoping that Zion Williams will bring back that big man-esque type basketball, and we seen how that kind of played out for him. It just didn't work out, and it's not really working out as it is now. Zion is almost like a thing of a past. Like, we don't even talk about Zion, and he was probably the biggest thing in sports. Was it 3-4 years ago?
Well, Zion's issue is his health. He's not staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, I still think Zion could really, cause some issues for players like a thin player like Wemby or whatever.
Zion is not a big man though.
No, he's not.
You can't. If you think a big man, you got to think about somebody like Joel Embiid.
Yeah, but Joel Embiid wants to shoot threes. Mm-hmm. So
it's crazy how he's been brainwashed. You know what I'm saying?
But
he's to shoot the 3 or shoot the 3 or the 15-footer. His advantage is obviously the post.
And Philly's actually been playing well. Their record is pretty solid right now.
Playing very well.
Hey, we're coming up to the end of our time here, and we got 2 more segments that I want to get to, Slim. So let's go ahead and move past the 2 big rookies here, and let's move into our game of the week this week. Mm-hmm. Monday Night Football, big game. We have the Eagles playing the Chiefs. on Monday Night Football, two of the best teams in the league right now. I know my guy here is a big Eagles fan, so I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about this. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's a good matchup. So I guess you could say it's a rematch of the Super Bowl, but I think it's going to be a good game. I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game because the Kansas City Chiefs, I want to say in losses they only allowed up to 24 points their opponents to get, and then in wins they only allowed their opponents to get up to 21 points. So I don't see it's going to be a high scoring game. Hopefully the Eagles, I still think the Eagles are going to get a win with a 21-17 win, but I don't know. I think it's going to be kind of a ground game this week for some reason. I think Swift is going to take control of this game this week. I think A.J. Brown, he'll get some passes, and then Javonte Smith, he'll get some passes, but I don't think it's going to be a huge passing day for Hurts this week. I think it's just more so going to be a ground game.
You making a wager on this one?
Probably.
Probably. Okay.
I'll probably bet on it. More likely, I'll probably bet on this game. More
Okay.
than likely.
Slim, are you paying attention to any of this? I know you're a big Dallas Cowboys fan, and we're talking about the Eagles and the Chiefs. But did you have a take on what you expect to see out of this matchup?
Shout out to them Cowboys. But, even though I don't like to agree with Kyle when it comes to talking about the Eagles, I'm going to take his side in this one. I think the Eagles are going to come out and show the NFL that they're the number one team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Nothing against the Chiefs. They got it. Patrick Mahomes is Mahomes. But I just think the Eagles are going to come out and make a statement this game.
Yeah, the Eagles, for those who don't remember, this is a rematch of the Super Bowl last year.
Yep.
I think the Eagles are really excited about the opportunity. And once again, I know a win won't be as important as a win would have been then, but a win nevertheless, especially getting them exactly. It's a statement win, getting them ready for the actual postseason. Still, Jalen Hurts have not been putting up astronomical numbers, but but he doesn't have to. We've been saying that all year. He doesn't have to put up numbers. He has enough talent around him that he just has to be steady. He has to be a leader. He has to protect the ball and make certain he doesn't do anything reckless with the ball. And he's consistently not done that, and that's why their record stands where their record stands. If I'm not mistaken, they're 8-1 right now.
Mm-hmm. When the Eagles lost the Super Bowl last year, and they looked at the calendar for this year, the two biggest games that they had on the calendar for this year was a game they played last week. Well, I want to say it was last week when they played the Cowboys, and this game here.
America's team.
Hey, Cowboys had a big win too. Let's go ahead and talk about the Cowboys since they came up twice. They blasted the Giants, but it's the Giants. But a big win, a win to win nevertheless.
Look, it's still an NFL team.
It's still an NFL team. It was a big win for the actual Cowboys. You have anything you want to add about the Cowboys and what they done this week?
We just gonna stay under the radar. We did what we're supposed to do. It's the Eagles' time now.
Okay. Well, the Cowboys are, the Cowboys are kind of steady.
Let me say this. Can I say this?
Please.
The Dallas Cowboys are America's team. That's it.
All right, man. Hey, one other segment I want to talk about real quick before we go ahead and end the show. I don't have it on the actual script, but I put a graphic together at the very last minute just to see exactly what you guys thought about it. The Clippers. LA Clippers are 0-5 since the addition of Harden. Is anybody shocked about this?
I'm not shocked at all, but I mean,
I tried to tell y'all, man. Did I not say he got to go there, man? You got to let Kawhi and Paul George thug this thing out, man. He just got to go try to fit in, man. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they're trying to make him the man. Did y'all watch the game last night?
No, I don't watch the Clippers. I can't watch them.
He's playing PG.
Yes.
They had, I want to say him or one of his partners was mic'd up. We was getting a little verbiage. He was just saying, man, he got to get back in the gym and get back to his basics. Get back to his follow through on his jumper. You got a lot of verbiage from James Harden that you wouldn't normally get, but the spirit was high on him. I feel like, he's going to come back. I think they're going to turn it around, bro. I'm going to say it like that. They're not looking good right now, but the way Tyronn Lue playing them, I think he's going to let them work through it. I think they're going to look good. Paul George was going ham.
Paul George looked really good. Paul George be slept on sometimes. Paul George looked real good. I think a lot of times
Paul George was going ham in that
game. Do you
game.
think Paul George only looks good because there's three other big stars on the court and he's not the main focus? So it takes away some of the, I guess, some of the...
Hold on, Kyle. Now, he's been the man now.
Yeah, he's been the man before.
I'm not a Paul George fan. But now he was at Indiana. He was the man over there.
Yeah, he was definitely doing his thing out there. But I just think it's a little bit easier to kind of be the man here, where you have these other stars, where you have a Kawhi who can go out and probably give you about 30 points if he wants to.
Yeah,
Jamal,
I agree with that.
Go ahead.
But Kawhi ain't never there.
Yeah,
Kawhi doing load management.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
riding around that
one
board
thing about
in that
Paul, I'm not a Paul George fan.
I'm a fantasy player. His numbers are his number. He gonna go get them.
I ain't gonna lie.
He's gonna go put that thing in the basket.
He's been killing it on fantasy. I ain't gonna lie, especially
Man,
with betting
his
on it.
whole career, he's a stat man. He's a scorer now. He gonna put that thing in the basket.
Real quick, Jamal Crawford made a take on Harden and his how he could better be utilized over in LA at the Clippers. Harden needs to come off the bench, bro. Harden does not need to start. He needs to come off the bench, and here's why. And this is Jamal Crawford's take. He needs to come off the bench. Coming off the bench, he could be the leader on the number 2 squad. The number 2, the second squad coming off the actual bench. He could lead that squad whenever Paul George and Kawhi need a break. That way, once he's on the actual floor, he could do what he wants. He is a ball dominant player. He needs the ball in his actual hands, and sometimes that can conflict with Kawhi and Paul George because Kawhi's not really a spot-up shooter. Kawhi pounds the ball and makes moves to the actual basket aggressively. That's his talent. But it's hard for him to do that if the ball's not in his hand, and Harden needs the ball in his hand as well. But if Harden was to come off the bench, does he have the humility to do that? I don't know. But if he were to come off the bench, he could be ball dominant while Kawhi and Paul George are getting their actual breaks, and that would be a better way to utilize him. I thought that was a pretty good take.
We have literally said this for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and who does that fall on? The coaching. It falls on the coach. If the coach doesn't realize that, then what do you want?
It's like Tyronn Lewis just trying to force it.
Yeah.
Force James Harden to go and score 40 points a night. Like, bro, you don't need to do that.
I can understand having a big 3, but a big 4 is you're pushing it. I mean, it's too much. It's almost too much talent on the court. It's almost like when you go and get some ice cream, you get way too much ice cream. Like, yeah, it's great, but you overdid it. You overdid it. You got too much on the floor. On the floor at one time. So like you're saying, if you put James Harden out there on the second team, I mean, like, literally you're literally running the game the whole 4 quarters. I mean, it's not
one thing about all these teams though, man, that got all this talent on them, they don't never do well. Just think about it.
Yeah.
All these super teams and super talented teams, bro, they don't really beat teams.
I agree.
They be individuals.
I agree. And I always I will die on this ledge, but I think it falls down to coaching, and it falls on to understanding what type of personnel you have. I love the movie Coach Carter because he understood the personnel that he had and he utilized them for what they did best. You know, you have to utilize it's almost like tools. You have to utilize the tools and what they do best and utilize them in that manner that they'll succeed. And that's why I love watching the Spurs plays, because Pop, he's one of the best coaches where he's just like, he understands his personnel, he teaches fundamentals, and he goes out there and they play fundamental basketball. You'll never beat a team who plays fundamental basketball.
Right.
So, real quick, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We're a little bit over right now, but once again, it's our show. We can go how long we want to go. But real quick, I do want to do one other thing real quick. Slim, you were following the Joe Smith story, and we had a segment on this a couple shows ago.
I almost walked out.
Yeah, we had a segment on this a couple shows ago about Joe Smith and everything that was kind of publicized with his wife. Are you familiar with that whole story?
I am.
Okay, cool. So there's a video that came out today. Do you watch It Is What It Is with Cam and Mace by chance?
Yes.
So did you see, of course, in an earlier interview that they did a video interview with Joe Smith's wife, because everything kind of went viral with that. And she mentioned the Body Babes. I think she has a masseuse, company. Well, here's a little video of what happened on It Is What It Is episode. I think that was today or maybe it was yesterday. We'll go and take a quick peek at it.
Where's your relationship at right now? Because I don't really know what's going on with my co-hosts right now.
Yeah,
Because they're not asking no questions.
Are y'all still together?
Her mic is kind of, she's not mic'd up.
Will this jeopardize it?
No.
So he's not gonna feel.
Came on the show.
No, but he's not gonna feel any way about what you do.
On the show.
Unbelievable. That's Mace. That's Mace.
Hey man, that's nasty.
When's
business,
the last
man.
time y'all
Mace
communicated?
ain't playing. Mace. I mean, that's Cameron. That's Cameron.
Oh, hold on.
Good,
They should have mic'd up. They messed up. They didn't get it mic'd up. But
So it's hope for the future
No,
with y'all.
man, it takes a special.
now
man
she
Do
don't
you
know.
want? Do you want it to be hope there?
okay, so that's it. Did that whole little video right there.
Hi, I'm Zoe
shit,
Gong.
we get
As a
up on
traditional Chinese medicine chef and food therapist,
Oh crap! There we go. Let me pause that. All right, sorry about that, man. All right, so that was a video of It Is What It Is take today with Cam and Mace. Then got Joe Smith's wife out here, and she gave Cameron a massage live on camera. That's just wild, bro. I mean, come on, man. Like Joe Smith right now is the new. He's the new Will Smith.
Didn't I say that earlier? Did I not? I said I.
Yeah, I mean,
Slim, I said the same thing early off mic. I said, y'all lucky he don't go jump off a bridge somewhere, because that's absolutely ridiculous. And then the fact that Cameron is laying on the table asking her, how the relationship.
How's everything going with you and Joe? It ain't going well. Like, this shit's not going well at all. Like that junk is tragic right now, bro.
Hey.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one we were talking about when she had told them that she had the body rubs, babes, as a business and whatnot like that, and I guess they surprised her. Yeah, she had her shirt open, and the boy was talking about her cleavage. Like, shit's wild, bro.
Yeah,
she out of control. Like Joe Smith, like I said, he's in Will Smith land right now. Like he needs to go ahead.
I don't know.
Slim, can I actually do me a favor, bro? That's a great conversation, man, and we don't have the time to have it, but I want to have it. But that would be a great conversation. That's a tough one right there. Hey, man, thanks for calling in. Hey, I appreciate you as always. Thanks for calling in. Real quick, I'm gonna see if any of our people viewing here want to give us a call in real quick. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the actual phone lines for anyone who may have a topic that they want to actually speak on. Let's open up the phone lines real quick. If you are watching and you would like to talk about any sports topic that we've talked about today, or you have another sports topic you would like to talk about, give us a call right now at 281-942-7433. That's 281-942-7433. We'll leave the line open for a couple of minutes and see if anyone jumps in. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the day. But 281-942-7433. Man, it's a good show, man. I really enjoyed the topics today, and I'm looking forward to that Eagles Chiefs game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think the Eagles Chiefs game is definitely going to be a game to watch. I want to say it's a Monday night game.
Yeah, Monday Night Football. It's going to be a big-time Monday Night Football game. Any of our viewers, we will not be on air next week for the holidays. We are going to enjoy the holidays with our family, so catch us the week following the Thanksgiving holidays. We will be back 8 o'clock live on Wednesday. We'll see you guys there. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here for the day. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We out.
Appreciate.
I hear you talking opinions, but where your facts at? I think it's time that we pull up and do a fact check. Hung again, we calling you to the circle. I'm tired of hearing the bull. I'm questioning your discernment, yeah. Like how you question the people that's really earned it, the people that's really working. Type of stuff for